What is up guys, it's Jordan here and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video we're going to be talking about something that I don't normally do, and that is a entirely personal idea or opinion. Now normally whenever I discuss ideas or opinions they are ones that I've seen, so I've suggested on Reddit. This is something that I've been thinking about myself. I'm sure other people have discussed it as well, but for this video I'm going to be talking about some ideas that I've thought of, and the reason I don't normally do this kind of thing is because I don't like sharing just a single opinion, but this is something that I was just thinking about last night and wanted to discuss and get, and I just wanted to get your guys' opinions on it as well, and hopefully maybe even just make this video a little bit of a message. Primarily we're going to be talking about seasons in Siege and special events and things like that, and really the idea of this video is more than just talking about the ideas that I have. It's also talking about trying to encourage Ubisoft to be a little bit more bold, because Siege is the first game that has really had some success for Ubisoft. It's been a very long time for Ubisoft since they've had like a very big game. Now obviously being a big company, most of their games do well, but Siege is the first game that has really blown up and has a very strong player base and is growing, and I feel like because of that they've kind of gone into a bit of a safe space where they found the formula, which is new operators, new maps and mid-season reinforcements, and they've kind of like, they're like, alright, we're going to do this and just this. Like, we're not going to do the game modes which was originally promised, or I say promised, it was discussed originally that they wanted to add new game modes, and they kind of just do the same thing over and over again when it comes to new content. And a big thing that I was thinking about is the seasons. Now you may have noticed every now and again Uplay has challenges, and it's normally to do with an event, and the idea is, you know, you do some challenges and you get a charm. The problem with this, or what I find is a bit boring, is the challenges are always very generic. You know, it's always kind of like win 3 rounds playing the specific operators that relate to this season or event, and a lot of the time you can end up doing these challenges without even realizing you're doing them, and then the reward is you get a charm, which charms are cool. Okay, I'm not going to like put charms down, but I just think it would be so much cooler if they were a bit more brave with their ideas and events. Put it this way, how cool would it be for maybe Halloween, for instance? For Halloween they introduce a single game mode or map where you could play Bartlett University with all the green smoke and stuff, all the fog, in multiplayer, like an actual multiplayer game, not ranked obviously, because it would be a bit unfair with the smoke making it an unfair advantage. But imagine, yeah, for Halloween only, or like a week throughout Halloween, you could hop onto a specific game mode just for Bartlett University with all the green smoke. Now obviously that's not going to be for everyone, because some people would just find it annoying with all the smoke and stuff, but it would just be cool and it would be different, and then you could have, you know, special challenges and things that you could do within that game mode to earn those charms. So instead of just, you know, playing the same operators you do normally, or maybe playing a slightly different character to get a charm, you'd actively be doing something Halloweeny. Or maybe for Christmas, okay, complete other turn, for house they could redecorate a house in like a Christmassy fashion, you know, put a Christmas tree inside the house and all sorts of things, and then you could have like mini Easter eggs or whatever you want to put in there, just something that makes you more aware that there's a season going on, something that encourages the players to sort of explore different ways to play Siege and do different things to acquire these charms instead of just playing operators. Now if you're sitting there thinking, you know, why do I care about this, this is so generic, you know, it's just different skins and stuff and maps or whatever, the reason, like I said, going back to the beginning point, is trying to encourage Ubisoft to be a little bit more brave. Like, I completely understand, okay, what they're doing right now works, there's a strong player base and they are worried about upsetting people, but the problem is though is that they're already dropping some ideas that they wanted. For instance, the game modes. I know that like some people don't really care about game modes, I personally am not too fussed, but there were a lot of people that were legitimately excited for game modes, but because Ubisoft are playing it completely safe and sticking with operators and maps, they're not going to be releasing any game modes anymore. And I am aware they do still make lots of changes, specifically around the mid-season reinforcements. They make lots of gameplay tweaks and things here and there, which I really enjoy. I love reading the patch notes when a new patch is coming out. But overall, Ubisoft are pretty safe with everything they do. Everything they do is always going to follow the same suit of operators, maps, gameplay changes, tweaks. Nothing major, they don't introduce anything crazy. I think, to be honest, one of the craziest things they introduced was Claymores, like just out of the blue. That was really cool. I didn't think they would do that, like not Claymore specifically, but just randomly throw in a new gadget and replace them, because I think that was towards like the beginning of the whole mid-season reinforcements. I might be wrong there, I'm not sure. But I just think it would be very interesting to see Ubisoft really push out different types of seasons and just more interesting ways to complete the challenges, because I think the challenges are a pretty stale thing, to be honest. Most of them are very very generic. You can do them without even thinking about it, and it's just like, take a look at Ghost Recon Wildlands, made by the same people. The challenges they've introduced there, some of them are quite cool and interesting, and there's even a few which I'm not sure how you'd implement it into Siege, but like they change the gameplay in terms of like no regenerating health and things to sometimes encourage you to play differently. Now obviously some things you could not do with Siege because ranked, and I think you would need to kind of take a lot of these ideas out of ranked, but again, that would improve the outside of ranked experience, because it is well known at the moment that Siege is, like, outside of ranked, there's not a whole lot to do. People play casual to warm up a lot of the time. Casual is kind of like a bit of a funny one right now, it's all over the place, but in terms of game modes and things, there's not a lot to do other than ranked, which again, for many, including myself, is fine, because I love the gameplay and I love ranked, and I love getting up that competitive leaderboard. But I definitely would not be opposed to them introducing some specific season game modes, maps, challenges, all sorts of things outside of ranked, because let's face it, who wants to play Terrace Hunt really? Not many people like Terrace Hunt, but can you imagine if they started doing all these crazy ideas in like Terrace Hunt, for instance? So you get to do all these different challenges, like I know this is a really crazy idea, but maybe for instance they could do a challenge one time where in Terrace Hunt every character is the bomber character, and it'll be super difficult, but if you manage to complete a round on realistic with all bomber difficulty or whatever, you would get like one of the bomber helmets or suits for one of your characters. Like imagine like that would be so cool. That would be a really interesting way to earn an elite skin instead of just forking out money or doing something generic or just grinding. That's an interesting and unique challenge, and you get rewarded for it, and when you have that reward, people would look at him like, oh damn, you know, he's gone and done the bomber challenge, and you know that challenge could be introduced maybe once a year, so it's like a really hard thing to get, and it would be very interesting. Now on top of having the bomber challenge, imagine having that option to go and tackle that bomber challenge with your friends, because obviously Terrace Hunt is a PvE co-op mode. I think I speak for many people who play Siege when I say co-op is fun, because the previous Rainbow Six games were heavily focused on co-op. Now although Siege does have co-op modes, nobody really plays it purely because there's just not a lot of reward for it, but another advantage of adding these challenges would be having a reason to go and tackle them with your friends and then getting the rewards with them. It'd be so much fun to go and do this really hard, super difficult bomber challenge with your friends, and then obviously overcoming it, because it's like something you can do together, a difficult challenge, and I just think that would be a further reason why this would be a really cool idea. And now I know that some of these ideas sound like I've just copied them straight from an MMO, because this is the kind of thing that MMOs do. But what is one of the biggest things that keeps people engaged in MMOs? It's the challenges and the unique personalization you can get for your characters, and Siege is slowly pushing for that with the skins, the elite skins, and the character customization. They're really pushing for that, and with the alpha packs they're making it a bit like that, where you know your character is your own, like your operator could be unique from another one because you've got that rare item from a pack or whatever, which is very cool. The packs are awesome, but imagine putting that alongside all these challenges and then having these seasons, and it would just be really, really interesting to see Ubisoft go a little bit more out there and sort of experiment with some of these ideas. Anyway guys, I know this video was quite long, and as well as that, it was very strange. This is a very different video, but please let me know what you guys think in the comments. That's the main reason I made this, is to see what you guys think of it and to see what you think of Ubisoft's current model. And if you're one of those people that is already getting ready to rage at me because you think Siege is perfect the way it is, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Siege, I'm just throwing some alternative ideas out there to keep everyone happy in terms of the players, because there are lots of different people that play Siege. Not everyone is, you know, die-hard ranked like some of us. Some people don't care about ranked, some people just like the game for what it is, and at the end of the day, more players for Siege, no matter how they play it, is good for the game and good for the life of the game. Because even if you're a casual player or someone who maybe even plays Terrace Hunt, you may still be interested in buying skins, and that obviously supports the developers, which means we have a higher chance of the game lasting for longer. So at the end of the day, everything in this video, or any ideas I have full stop, or everyone, feeds back into all players, because if you enjoy the game, I'm sure you want it to succeed and do well. Personally, I would love for this game to become like CSGO, not like in terms of the player count, but just for it to keep going and evolving, and they have discussed a 5 to 10 year plan for Siege, which is very ambitious, but we'll see what happens. Anyway guys, I do apologise for rambling a little bit, but this is just something that I thought last night would be a cool idea for a video. So yeah, do let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate it if you smack the like button. It really supports me and helps me to understand what you guys enjoy in terms of content, and do drop a subscribe if you enjoy the content that I'm making. I hope you guys do have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.